Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Lisa Richardson, and today we're coming to you from the Penn Center out on St. Helena Island here in the museum, along with our special guest, Mr. Middleton, who was a student here over 70 years ago. A sure sign of the amazing history. He sits here every day for the last 17 years in this beautiful spot as the docent, and he's here. Worthwhile to come out and see him. And today we're going to be learning so much history, and we'll be hearing from two special guests. Dr. Rodell Lawrence, he is the Executive Director of the Penn Center. Also joining us is Mr. Ezra Callahan. He's the Vice Chairman of the Board of Trustees here at the Penn Center. So stick around and watch this episode of 843 TV. We're going to see some neat things where communities come to speak.
843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
TV, where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. We are here at the Penn Center on St. Helena Island in the museum, which has so much history. We're going to be learning all about that and more as we talk today with Dr. Rodell Lawrence and Mr. Ezra Callahan. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome. Welcome.
This is an amazing place. I was excited the last time we came out here. There's so much to learn and so much to know and so much history, and it is Black History Month here in February. So what a perfect time to learn all about this. Let's start with the vision that you all have. Mr. Callahan, would you share a little bit about that?
Well, Penn Center's mission statement is to promote, preserve the history and culture of the Sea Islands. Penn Center being one of the first schools for the freed slaves in 1862 before the end of the Civil War. This was one of the only place at that time where education was being taught in a system like this.
That is so amazing. Such amazing history. Tell us what happens today at the Penn Center as far as the education goes.
Well, at Penn Center today, the board of directors are working very hard through their different committees to make sure that Penn Center is run properly and effectively. We have many programs for education, especially with the young people. We run different programs, which Dr. Lawrence will tell you more about later, but we also are doing education programs for the adults to make them more viable in the community so that they may be able to attend work at a decent wage.
So it's an ongoing process of education that dates way back to the 1800s. And besides that, we're in this beautiful museum. We're going to look around a little bit in our next segment, but there's so much history that's preserved here that's really fascinating. So I understand you had a great 2017, had a lot of accomplishments. Will you share a few highlights with us?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Let's start with the education component. This past summer, we ended up with a summer camp here at Penn Center. In fact, one of the first summer camps that we've had in many, many years. We had a total of 170 kids.
Wow.
Here on campus, which
That's
is
fun, right?
just astounding. We also we ended up having counselors for the kids, which was a hiring opportunity. So some of our young people, they were able to get jobs this summer. So we were able to hire through the summer program as well as the feed program, which I'm going to talk about in a second. We hired a total of 62 people from the island that literally worked here at Penn Center this summer.
Wow.
And so that was really quite an accomplishment. But one of the things, as Mr. Callahan mentioned, the education component, was the feed program. As you know, there are quite a few kids in this county that are on the special program for breakfast and lunch in the local schools. Well, but what happens to those same kids during the summer? Well, Penn Center along with my director of education, Dr. Jenkins, we supplied a total of 1,832 meals twice a day.
That's wonderful.
For
Wow.
the whole entire summer, for a grand total of 355,000 meals we served to kids in Beaufort County, Jasper County, and Hampton County. We had drivers, as well as we supported 82 agencies throughout those 3 counties feeding children. And so besides the 62 jobs, we also were able to feed a total of 355 meals.
So you're truly a very impactful thing in this community, between the opportunities for employment, between the care for the kids, which I'm sure is very helpful for those working parents in the summer, as you mentioned, when they're out of school, and meals, quite frankly, is something that some of us take for granted are a challenge. So what a wonderful way to help and impact the community here.
Yeah, we had a total of 22 people working in the cafeteria. We have a cafeteria that we open at 5 o'clock in the morning. The drivers would be there at 7. They would take off, and we had hot packs. And by the way, these are nutritional meals that we served twice a day. And so I'm very, very pleased to what we were able to do this year in feeding the children, not just in Beaufort County, but the other 2 counties also.
Yeah. As this summer comes up again, you're planning on having this program continue, I'm assuming.
Yes.
What about beyond that? Any future plans you wanted to share?
Yes, there's several things going on at Penn. When you drive around, you can take a look. We have we're going to be planning to cut the ribbon on our child care facility. We have completely revamped the child care facility, and I really want to thank the supporters from Data Island that have come over and provided us with the playground equipment that we needed, and so we plan to cut the ribbon on the new daycare facility within the next 2 weeks.
Is that located here on the property?
Right here on the property.
How much area do you have? It's quite a significant area outside, and a beautiful one with all the trees and the moss trees. How does the area encompass? You have the museum, you have what we're in now. What other facilities are on the site?
We have a total of 19 buildings on the campus, 17 historic buildings, and we have 2 new facilities that the county, that we deeded to the county, and that's the medical center as well as the St. Helena Library. But a total number of buildings on this campus is 19, 17 are historic, and it covers 50 acres. Now, Penn Center owns a total of 500 acres, but there's 50 acres that's designated as a historical site.
Wow, so much to learn. Stay right here. We're going to be back with more from the Penn Center.